Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving deep into Google's brand new AI, Gemini 3. And I want you to forget everything you think you know about AI assistants, because we're about to explore how this tech is making a massive leap from just being a tool to becoming a real creative partner. And we'll talk about what that actually means for you.
So let's kick things off with this quote from Google's CEO, because it really nails it. Think about it. The last time you used an AI, you probably had to spell everything out, right? You had to be super specific. Reading the room, that's a whole different ballgame. It means the AI is starting to get the stuff you don't say, the context, the nuance, and that's the huge leap we're going to unpack today.
All right, so here's the plan. First, we'll tackle the big picture. Why are we even calling this a new era? Then we'll get into the nitty-gritty of Gemini 3 itself. And then the fun part, what can you actually do with this thing? We'll also touch on this new idea of agents for building with AI, and of course wrap up with how and when you can try it out for yourself. All right, Section 1, a new era of intelligence. So why is this not just another update? What's the big deal, really? Well, think about it like this. Most AI today is kind of like a super literal intern. You tell it exactly what to do, and it does it. The goal with Gemini, though, is to create a true partner, something that can brainstorm with you, figure out what you need before you even ask, and maybe even push back on your ideas a little. And you can really see how we got here on this timeline. It all started with Gemini 1, which was basically about giving the AI eyes and ears, teaching it to understand video, audio, and huge amounts of text. That's the whole multimodality thing. Then came Gemini 2, which was about making it a better thinker. Giving it the power to reason and start to act on its own, that's what they mean by agentic capabilities. And now, with Gemini 3, it all comes together. It's not just processing information or thinking about it, it's actually a doer. Okay, so that's the journey. Now let's get to the main event. Introducing Gemini 3. Time to pop the hood and see what makes this thing so special. So what is Gemini 3 at its core? Well, it's all about understanding what you mean, not just what you type. You know that frustration, right? When you have to ask an AI the same question 5 different ways to get what you want? Yeah, the whole goal here is to get rid of that. It's built to pick up on the hints, the subtext, so you get what you need, hopefully on the very first try. And it's not just one thing. It actually comes in 2 flavors. You've got Gemini 3 Pro, which is the powerhouse for all your daily tasks. It's available right now, and you can think of it like a seriously high-end sports car. But then you have Deepthink. This one is more like a rocket ship, built for tackling the most complex, brain-bending problems out there. It's still in private testing, but it's designed for challenges that need a completely different level of thinking. Okay, I know. Charts with numbers can be a little dry, but stick with me because these are actually pretty wild. This shows how Gemini 3 Pro performs on some major benchmarks, and wow. The Element leaderboard, that's basically the Olympics for AI models, and Gemini is right at the top. GPQA Diamond, that tests its skill on PhD-level reasoning, and it's getting a solid A+. MMU Pro is all about understanding images, video, all that good stuff, another win. And SWE Bench, well, that's for coding, and we're going to see just how big a deal that is in a sec. The bottom line here is, this isn't just marketing hype. The numbers are there to prove it. And speaking of coding, just look at this chart. This is the leap in ability we're talking about. That massive jump for Gemini 3 Pro on the SWE bench is a total game changer for anyone who writes code. It's the difference between having a helpful assistant who can look things up for you and having a genuine partner who can code right alongside you. This is going to seriously speed up how fast we can build things. But wait, there's more. If Pro is impressive, Deepthink is on another level. It scored a 45.1% on a benchmark that's specifically designed to stump today's AI. Think of it like this. You give the AI a brand new, complex problem it's never seen before with 0 instructions on how to solve it. The fact that it can figure it out almost half the time, that is a massive step forward. A really big deal. All right, enough with the scores and benchmarks. Let's get to the good stuff. What can you actually do with this? Let's talk about some real-world examples of what Gemini 3 can handle. Okay, so first up, learning. And this is where it gets really cool and personal. Let's say you're trying to get better at pickleball. You could literally upload a video of your last match, and Gemini could break down your form, your footwork, and give you tips like a pro coach. Or maybe you're a student drowning in research papers. Just feed one in and boom, instant interactive flashcards.
It can even help you preserve family history by deciphering and translating your grandma's old, handwritten recipes. It's like having an on-demand expert for literally anything.
Now, for all you builders and creators, this is huge. They're calling this the best model yet for vibe coding. So what on earth is that? Well, it means you can just describe a feeling or an aesthetic, a vibe. You could say, I want a retro 3D spaceship game, but make it feel futuristic. And it can translate that abstract idea into real working code. It's an incredible tool for anyone who has a creative vision, but doesn't want to get stuck in the weeds of programming. And it's not just for learning or building. It's also a master planner. We're talking about handling complex, real-world tasks from start to finish. Imagine saying, hey, find me a good local plumber, check their reviews, book them for sometime Tuesday afternoon, and put it on my calendar. Gemini is getting to the point where it can handle that entire chain of events, all on its own. It's like a personal assistant that actually, well, assists. Okay, that ability to plan and act on its own leads us to a really big idea, a major shift in how we can build with AI. And that brings us to section 4, building with agents. So this raises a really fundamental question, right? What is an agentic platform? For so long, we've thought of AI as just a tool in our toolkit, like a fancy hammer. But what happens when that tool can pick itself up and start building things on its own? What if it becomes less of a tool and more of a collaborator? Well, Google's answer to that question is something they're calling Antigravity, which you got to admit is a pretty cool name. It's all about lifting that heavy workload of software development. The AI isn't just a passive assistant anymore. It's an active partner that can autonomously plan and execute complex tasks for you. And here's the really wild part, how it actually works. First, the agent plans out the entire task from start to finish. Then it gets its hands dirty, writing the application right in the editor and terminal. And then, and this is the crucial part, it validates its own code. It actually checks its work to make sure it's running correctly. For a developer, this means you can describe the end goal and the agent can handle the whole shebang. Okay, so at this point, you're probably thinking two things. One, is this safe? And two, when can I get my hands on it? So let's wrap up with the Gemini 3 rollout and how they're approaching responsible development. First things first, responsibility. Google is really hammering home that this is their most secure model yet. It's been through the most intense safety evaluations they've ever done. We're talking internal red teams trying to break it, but also independent third-party experts putting it through its paces. They're doing everything they can to make sure it's resistant to misuse and prompt injections. All right, and now for the availability. The good news is Gemini 3 Pro is starting to roll out today. You'll find it in the Gemini app, in AI Studio, and for enterprise users in Vertex AI. And for those of you wanting that extra horsepower, the Deepthink mode will be coming soon for Google AI Ultra subscribers, just as soon as it clears all the final safety checks. And, of course, they've said that more models in the Gemini 3 family are on the way. So, as huge as this all sounds, the key takeaway is that this is really just the beginning. This is the start of the Gemini 3 era. It's a massive milestone for sure, but it's also just the first step in what this new generation of AI is going to be capable of. And that really leaves us with the big question to think about. The focus is shifting, right? It's no longer just, what can the AI do? Now it's, what will you do with it? When AI becomes a true creative partner, the only real limit is your imagination. So what will you build?